Thank you so much for making the time.
No worries.
Uh,
I'm so sorry for rescheduling it. Yeah.
no, no, that's okay. I understand. Even like I had run from office that day because I wanted to make it on time, but even I was feeling very tired. So I was relieved when you said, let's just reschedule.
Okay.
Uh,
Glad. Yes.
but yeah, I'll give you some context of what I'm doing and why I'm doing. So
Mm,
essentially, the podcast is just a format. It doesn't really matter what format I do it in. The idea is to talk to more people, and that's multi. There are multiple objectives on it. First is
mm,
that I want to be able to talk to more people because I feel like I haven't done a lot of that in the recent past, and
mm,
this just helps me talk to more interesting people, make connections with them, just become friends. Uh, and then second is that I believe that my story is the most important story in the world. And I also realize that I'm not the only person to think that way, which is why I want to acknowledge the stories of other people. And if not be a participant, then at least a witness to their stories. Which is where this whole thing has come from. I just want to hear their stories, find the person, not just people who are generally like in podcasts, people invite celebrities, people who've already reached success. But I don't have a particular criteria apart from the fact that the person who has recommended you thinks that you're one of the most interesting people they know. And that is Kanika for you. So I talked to Kanika,
yeah.
the first guest, and then she recommended you to me. So I just wanted to know how you feel about Kanika, what your relationship with her has been like.
To answer your first question, how I feel about Kanika. So I don't know if there's one thing that can describe Kanika is this bundle of joy and energy. Always, always. I don't know like how she manages to pull it off every time.
Mm,
But so you'll be surprised to know that we do not have any. I don't know. We haven't studied together. We haven't worked together. It was just a sheer coincidence that I just reached out to her for one of. I was asking a favor from her. I was studying last year. I was in the UK that time. I just reached out to her saying, "Hey, your work looks interesting, and would like to know more about it." And she just responded immediately, and we just had a call, and then things kicked off from then. So we have been in touch since last 2 years now. I mean, yeah, it's been 2 years almost. I was in the UK 2021. Yeah, so that's how I know her. But if there's one thing I can tell about her, like she's this person with immense energy, passion, drive, zeal, everything. And whatever she does, she gives her 100%. I would say 200% in it. That's how I know her. And obviously, like I mean, we have hardly met. I think twice or thrice, but then it never feels like that with Kanika.
mm,
So that's my relationship with her. If we definitely try that at least once in a month, we can catch up virtually because we do live in different continents as of now.
yeah.
So we do try that once in a month. We do catch up, see what we are doing in our respective lives, and if there's any way we can support each other, and she does. I mean, yeah, that's about Kanika and my
Yeah,
relationship.
it's been actually very similar with me because we haven't met yet. Apart from that one time that we were both in the same compartment in the tube and we're looking at each other like we know each other, but we didn't talk. So, but
Nice.
we've talked virtually a little bit, and then now we're writing a research paper together. So, just I think these exciting things happen when Kanka's around you, I suppose.
I know, yeah. And then it turns out that we have a lot of common friends already, and the
Hmm.
sector is already so small.
Yeah,
I feel like, oh wow, great, small world. And then Kanika has been that particular person who connects with people if you need something, and she's always there. So yeah, I mean, hats off to her energy and perseverance, I would say.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll get to the podcast now.
Yeah.
So it's called Paani with People, which is just a play on other podcasts with similar names where they have coffee and other things. But the idea is also to just be plain as water, and for people also to be just that. But I would request you if you have water alongside you for branding purposes. And I
I'll
want,
get it. Do you want me to get it quickly?
yeah, yeah, why not?
Just give me a second. Yeah. just realized. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been living in Patna since I don't know how long. I never had a glass cup. I never had a. I only have coffee mugs. I don't know if that serves the purpose or not. I don't think so.
No, no,
Yeah,
that's as long as there's water in it, everything else
yeah.
is fine.
Then I have this
Yeah,
cute cup.
wonderful. Great. So the idea is also to feel healthy while talking.
All
I
right.
genuinely drink a lot of water, and water has been my favorite drink. तो मुझे लगता है
Wow.
पानी से अच्छा कुछ नहीं हो सकता जिंदगी में.
Yeah, I mean, only if we have fresh water left. यहाँ
Hmm,
पे तो मुश्किल.
that's true. Yeah, it's been weird for me to fill water from the tap even now. Like I've been in the UK for 2 years or so. पर इतना अजीब लगता है कि कैसे तुम
I
नल से
know.
पी सकते हो.
हाँ, हाँ, वो मुझे एक इंसिडेंट याद है। सो आई वाज़ स्टडीइंग टिस में सोशल वर्क। सो मेधा पाटकर हैड कम फॉर अ कॉन्फ्रेंस। सो आई विल कीप ऐसे टॉपिक में मैं रखता रहूँगा मैं, सो
Yeah,
प्लीज़ ब्रिंग मी बैक ऑन ट्रैक।
no, I appreciate
एंड
it.
शी वाज़ टॉकिंग अबाउट अगेन, आई डोंट नो, दिस टॉपिक वाज़ अराउंड land rights, and housing and stuff. And then she had this Bisleri bottle in front of her. She literally pegged it, and she wanted to throw it, but obviously it was a conference and she did not want to. And then she just said, "Ki, like, we have to think that we have, as a civilization, we have literally come to a point where something which was open, something which was so natural, it was for everyone, and we have just kept it in one bottle. We have priced it, we have labeled it, and this is what we have done to this
Yeah,
earth." But yeah, anyway, yeah, water should be, I mean, everything which is natural should be accessible to all, not, it should be seamless. But yeah,
yeah, of course. And matlab, it's very difficult to trap air, but they have started trapping pure
yes,
oxygen anyway.
yes. I think the Delhi may, when population, no, not pollution, obviously population as well, but pollution level goes high. They now they have this oxygen mask or
Yeah, yeah.
something which
Which
they have
comes with a
pure,
can of oxygen.
yeah, can from Himalayan air or something like that. Sort of they start selling
Yeah,
that as well. But there's no limit to capitalism anyway.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the first question that I want to start with is a very generic question, um, and also a general question, which is who is Manzer, and what defines your identity?
Okay. First one is always a difficult one.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if there's one thing I can talk about who Manzar is. I think it's the most confused person ever, and who, just to find the answer, I keep trying. I mean, I keep, I don't know, I keep looking for answers everywhere. Okay, so maybe through my work, maybe through my relationships, maybe through just being, through loneliness. But this whole idea is trying to find who I am, what is my purpose in life, and what am I meant to do. That is, so if Manzar is a confused human being and with a constant pursuit of answer, knowledge, happiness, love, whatever you may call it. So confusion, and along with this journey of pursuit, that can define my identity. Not in a bad way confused, but I don't want to just settle down with one thought that this is ultimate or this is what it is. I
Hmm.
always feel that there is something beyond. So the whole confusion actually comes from this: is it what I want? Is this what I want? So that's where the confusion, and then the quest to, okay, no, let's find something else. Let's go beyond this. But at the same time, also finding, living my life in those pauses where I can just sit down, reflect back, and then plan ahead.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's the philosophical answer. Apart from that, the professional answer is, it's, I'm a development professional with more than 6 years of work experience. Currently working as a policy manager with JPL South Asia. I'm based out of Patna in Bihar, where I support the government of Bihar in one of their poverty elevation programs from the policy and research front. Prior to this, I studied in UK from University of Oxford, where I pursued an MSc in evidence-based social intervention and policy evaluation. That was luckily on scholarship that's named Chevening Scholarship. And yeah, and prior to that, I also hold, excuse me, another master's in social work, where I specialize in livelihoods and social entrepreneurship from TIS Mumbai. And I call it in a funny way that in my previous life I was an engineer and did my engineering in computer science.
Yeah.
So yeah, from Dehradun. So yeah, that's about me. I come from a place named Ambikapur. Very few folks know about it. I hope through this medium more will know. Through this podcast, more will know about it. But I come from this place named Ambikapur. It's a small town in Chhattisgarh, and yeah, it is, I think, one of the cleanest city in India with population less than 2.5 lakhs or 2 lakhs, somewhere around that. But
Mm.
it used to be. I'm not sure about the recent survey, but yeah, that's it.
Mm. What language do you speak at home?
Hindi with obviously some Urdu seeps in from my mother's side, but yeah, Hindi mostly.
Right. And so, what is Ambikapur like? I've never been.
For so the sad part is the connectivity to Ambikapur is very challenging. So now after I think last last year we finally got a train which connects to New Delhi. Else there is nothing. So you have to travel to Rap. So from geographical point of view, it's in the north part of Chhattisgarh. It's closer to the Jharkhand border. Okay,
Mm.
so that way you can either go to Ranchi, take a flight to Delhi, or go down to Raipur, which is again 12-hour train journey from Ambikapur, then take a flight. So connectivity wise, it's very difficult to reach to Ambikapur. It's a small town, uh, green, lush forests around. Um, we do have recently Hasdev Reserve Forest was also in news because of the whole protest going around that. So Hasdev River is nearby. Not very, I would say, not very modern city, but it has that tier three peri-urban kind of touch. So it has what everything you need is there. But yeah, that's it. It's a very small town. Hardly you. I mean, you can just fill a petrol of 100 rupees and just travel the entire town easily. That's it.
Uh, I haven't traveled much in Chhattisgarh, but one of the most beautiful places that I've been to in India has been in Chhattisgarh, which is Menpat. I don't know if you've been.
Oh, it's closer to Ambikapur. Oh,
Oh,
so
okay.
you might have. So if you had been to Manpad, you would have gone to Ambikapur first.
Maybe I would have crossed through.
Yeah,
Because
there's no other way. So yeah, it's Manpad. Yeah, Manpad is closer to Ambikapur. It's a hilly region as
yes,
compared to Ambikapur. It's at a height, and yeah, it's chilly. It's cold.
yeah. And
A
there's
lot
this
of
place called Daldali, which is
yes,
a field, and like that's I haven't experienced something like that before, which was just a
yeah,
plain field. Once we jump karo, to it it turned into
S- uh,
waves.
yeah. I know. So Daldali, and there's this place where you say that the river flows in the opposite direction. I don't
Yeah,
know the sand, the magnetic.
I couldn't
Uh,
see it, but I did hear
yeah,
कि यहाँ पे है.
yeah. Manpad is close to Ambikapur. Like I think 90 kilometers, if I'm not
Oh,
wrong.
nice. So maybe I would have been then. I'd
Yes,
gone
you
for
have.
a while.
Yeah, but Chhattisgarh again, it's still comparatively a newer state. Do you mind if I take this call?
Yeah, of course.
I gave my bike for servicing, so I thought it must be that person, but it's someone else. Sorry,
Mm.
still waiting for their call. Yeah.
That's all right. No problem. Uh, so what was school like for you, and then how did engineering happen?
Okay. So I did my schooling from Holy Cross Convent Senior Secondary School. It was a convent school. At that time, it was one of. I still believe it's one of the good schools in Ambikapur. Uh, School life. I mean, difficult, not difficult, I would say. I had a very different school life. I mean, I had phases of school life. So I believe in the initial few years, I was a good, decent student who used to study, who was obedient, who used to follow all the rules and regulations. Then there came a time like, oh no, this notorious kid who used to, I don't know, who used to not follow the rules and regulations. There comes a time, right?
Sorry, I
You get,
lost you for a second. I can hear you
yeah,
still moving. Yes, I can hear now.
sorry. Yeah, so I was saying there comes a phase in your school life where you get deviated from your path. You start, I mean, it's natural. Yeah, I became that kid who used to not focus on his studies, who used to fight, who used to do all this nonsense. So, I think teachers were fed up of me. There was a time teachers were literally fed up of me, and my sisters also studied in the same school. So we are three. I'm the elder one, and I have two younger sisters. So all three of us studied in the same school. So it was this
Mm.
pressure always there, right? So your elder brother is there, and then you have two younger sisters as well. I remember there was a time I was so notorious. One of the faculties called my sister, uh, the younger one, says that I want to meet your mother. Please call her separately, and I'll meet her. And they invited her, my mom, to her place, and then she was like, "Oh, your son needs some direction. He's lost. He's notorious. What to do?" And I think my parents have had a very different style of parenting. Very different. I haven't seen such style ever, and I don't know, hats off to them how they managed to do it. They never used to scold me, or I never got any, I mean, I would say, never, they have never used this approach of iron fist towards me. They have always used this approach of talking to you politely, expressing concern. If they're upset, they'll say that this has actually made them upset. It has made them feel sad about it, and that would eventually shape my views. So I think, but after so when the faculty invited, my mother was like, "Okay, fine." She just talked to me normally that, "Okay, this is happening. You are not doing good in your studies. Why don't you focus?" Unlike typical image of an Indian parent, that, oh, they'll start beating left, right. No, that did not happen with me,
Mm.
clearly. So, but yeah, I think till eighth I was this very notorious kid. And I think, and it was, I could see my parents trying hard to make sure my education is from one of the best institutes, because both my parents do not come from affluent backgrounds. So my mother is a government teacher. She teaches in a government school in Ambikapur. That too in the rural part of Ambikapur. My father runs an NGO on skill development. So there was no, I would say, strong backing, financial backing to either of my parents.
Mm.
Um, so I could see they're trying really hard for our education. So I could see this every day. My mother taking a bus full of men just to go teach in some government school in Ambikapur. My father trying hard day and night to run his NGO. Still, it's going fine. So all of these things I could constantly observe, and that shaped my desire to do something better, do more, do better, excel in my profession as well. So that's how I think after eighth class I decided to, I'll change my ways. I'll become a better person.
Mm.
So I think after eighth, I started having a good time. I think then I started focusing on my studies. Tried really hard to score good. Tried a lot, and then eventually, after trying so much, I could only score 75% in my tenth grade. That's it. After all these efforts, but still, my parents did not say a word. They were like, "No, it's fine. It's okay." I was shocked to see this. I mean, they were like, they were friends who got 80s and 90s in their boards, and here I was with 70% marks, and they were like, "It's okay, no worries. There's no end to this world." They would obviously say that, "हाँ, अच्छे marks लाओ, अच्छी बात है, we would want." But ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं आया तो वो चिढ़ गए इस बात से, या नाराज हो गए, या पिटाई हो
Mm.
रही है, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ। 10th के बाद फिर क्या, अच्छा, 10th was actually a very, I would say, that shaped my life. That was the first time I decided to stand for elections. So we had this head boy elections in our school,
Mm.
and ninth, yeah, I told you, right, eighth tak I was just very notorious kid, and from ninth onwards I became this, I want to change myself. And then one of the faculty said, "Why don't you nominate yourself for any of the positions?" I said, "ठीक है, हाउस लीडर के लिए नॉमिनेट करता हूँ मैं खुद को." I said, "मैक्स हाउस लीडर तो बन ही जाऊंगा." Then I think staff room में they said कि नहीं, इसको नॉमिनेट करते हैं स्कूल कैप्टन के लिए, and that was a shocker for me as well, कि भाई, आउट ऑफ, मतलब ये सारे फैकल्टी जिन्होंने नॉमिनेट किया, मुझे कभी ना कभी मेरी पिटाई लगाई होगी, एंड अब दे आर सेइंग कि इसको स्कूल कैप्टन बनाना है. सो बट इट हैपेंड, इलेक्शंस हुए, वोटिंग हुआ 10th क्लास में. लकीली आई बिकेम द हेड बॉय. आई डोंट नो हाउ, बट आई बिकेम द हेड बॉय.
And this was when
दैट
you were in 12th.
10th क्लास. सो
10th में भी हेड बॉय बनते हैं?
बिकॉज हमारे स्कूल में उस टाइम बॉयज सिर्फ 10th तक पढ़ते थे. सो
अच्छा,
इट वाज
अच्छा.
ओनली टिल 10th. 10th में हेड बॉय बन गए बिकॉज दैट वाज द लास्ट बैच. दैट एक्चुअली मेड मी बिलीव कि भाई लीडरशिप स्किल्स है मेरे में, मे बी है कुछ, मुझे नहीं पता. है नहीं है मुझे नहीं पता. And I always remember this principal. She had just come to the school. Her name was Dr. Sister Usha. And she brought this whole idea of elections and leadership and everything into me, and they were like, "Ki, you can do this. You should be a good leader and everything." Blah blah blah. I always credit it to her that whatever I am today, especially in terms of my leadership skills, if I have to lead something, that was the seed that she sowed.
Mhm.
So yeah, 10th happened, and अच्छा, luckily we were the first batch who जो 10th के बाद बॉयज के लिए बढ़ा दिया गया, तो 11 12 भी हमने वहीं से कर ली.
Oh, okay.
सो हम पहले बैच हो गए. And then again 11 12 में things were fine, everything was great, but the only issue here was हमारे पास ऑप्शंस नहीं थे. वी ओनली न्यू अबाउट, या तो हमारे पास अकाउंट्स का या कॉमर्स का होगा, या आप बायो पढ़ेंगे, या आप मैथ लेके इंजीनियरिंग की तैयारी करेंगे.
Hmm.
अब इंफॉर्मेशन एक्सेस नहीं था हमारे पास, अनलाइक अदर सिटीज. आई डोंट नो बाकी जगह कैसे होता है, बट हमारे टीचर्स को भी नहीं आइडिया था कि क्या क्या एवेन्यूज हैं, क्या क्या चीज कर सकते हो. तो सब कुछ बस यहाँ वहाँ भेड़ चाल की तरह कर रहे हैं. अच्छा, मैथ ले लो, मैथ ले लिया, बायो ले लो, बायो ले लिया, तो कुछ पता नहीं है क्यों ले रहे हैं, बट लिए जा रहे हैं.
Hmm.
तो ले लिया, अब बोलते हैं अच्छा ठीक है इसमें इंजीनियरिंग कर सकते हैं. तो इंजीनियरिंग के बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं. अब इंजीनियरिंग के बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं तो बच्चे बस एक ही माइंड में, आईआईटी. हर कोई बात कर रहा है कि
Hmm.
इंजीनियरिंग करने के बाद आईआईटी जाओगे. अरे बट आईआईटी जाओगे तो, बट लेकिन वहां पहुंचना भी एक डिफिकल्ट टास्क है. उस वहां की लाइफ भी अलग है, हर कोई शायद वो नहीं करना चाहता हो. आईआईटी के अलावा भी कॉलेजेस हैं जिसमें हालत अच्छी नहीं है लोगों की. तो वो सब बात कोई कर ही नहीं रहा था. सब आईआईटी एनआईटी की बातें कर रहे हैं, ऐसे फ्लावरी पिक्चर दे रहे हैं. दैट वाज समथिंग व्हिच वाज बीइंग सोल्ड टू अस by people who had never seen that life. And we
Right.
just, and everybody was like, या तो डॉक्टर बन जाओगे एम्स से, या इंजीनियर बन जाओगे आईआईटी से, लाइफ सेट है तुम्हारी. बट कोई
Hmm.
बताता नहीं है कि उसके अलावा ये बहुत बड़ी दुनिया है, उसके अलावा ये बहुत ऑप्शंस हैं. और जो उसमें है वो भी खुश नहीं है. कभी कभी कुछ ऐसे होते हैं वो खुश हैं बिकॉज उनका पसंद है, उनका पैशन है, वो पैशन डेवलप कर लेते हैं टाइम के साथ. हर कोई
Hmm.
नहीं कर पाता. एनीवे, भेड़ चाल चलती रही. 12th के बाद किसी ने बोला कि भाई कोचिंग कर लो कोटा जाके, बट मैंने बोला कि कोचिंग एक साल का ड्रॉप नहीं लेंगे. फिर मैंने एक फिर मैं चला गया भिलाई. भिलाई में कुछ महीने की कोचिंग क्लासेस होती हैं आईआईटी जेई के लिए. सो आई आई प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर नॉट आईआईटी, AI triple E. I realized that IIT is not my thing. Clearly not my thing. I cannot appear for IIT JEE. I'll just
Hmm.
appear for AI triple E. So I prepared for a month or so. Got decent rank. I got like around, all India rank was, state rank was 500 something. I was
That's
getting that's decent. That's decent. State rank was 500. I was getting an IT Raipur for not biomedical, I think, if I'm not wrong. But then someone suggested that this rank you can go to some good universities, private universities. And one fellow who was from Pantnagar, he was teaching in that, in that coaching class. He said, "Why don't you go to DIT? It's in Dehradun. It's a good university."
Hmm.
That's it. I applied and they said, "Huh, why don't you come? We can give you a seat." I went to Dehradun, and then the engineering life started. No idea why I'm doing this. Just because I got 12th में बहुत मेहनत करके I got 77%. I have no idea. Just following what was going on in life. No direction. Parents were also not aware of these options. They did not say that you should do this. They said you explore. If you feel this is right, do it. They were also not imposing it on me. They were hoping that I would find it out. I would do more research on it, or maybe this is the right option as per them. Even they were not aware, and I don't blame them. They also come from very humble background. They don't know about it. And that's when school life led me to engineering, and I ended up in Dehradun pursuing computer science engineering.
Wonderful. Okay, before we get to the engineering, I'll just quickly bring you back to the parenting bits that you talked about. I was
Yeah.
having a conversation with my friends a couple of weeks ago and just trying to figure out what does it mean to be a good parent? How do you parent? Like, I, by my age, my parents had two sons who were both in school, right? Or or I was just in the age of getting to school, somewhere around that. And I can't imagine like I how I would be as a parent. मुझे लगता है मुझे खुद को ऐसे 3 बार मील खाने में बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है कि मैं ब्रेकफास्ट, लंच, डिनर खा पाऊँ. हाउ वुड आई फीड अ चाइल्ड? हाउ वुड आई manage a family? It feels so distant to me as a concept, but I know that my parents had done it. And all of our parents, in fact, would have had kids at this age, at that point, and we were wondering, what does it mean to be a good parent? And you said that you've had an unconventional parenting style, which hasn't been hinged on um punishment, and it's primarily communication based. And I was wondering, does that come through education? What is it that, how does one become a parent like that? Become a parent that we would want to be?
uh, Not necessarily education for sure.
Mm,
It's it I don't know, not education for sure. I have seen people who are really educated. I have seen my friends whose parents are really educated, but then their parenting style is very different. They impose things. They do not understand the feelings of the child. Education for everything in the world, education plays a very minute role these days. It's a lot
mm,
to do with how you are as a human, and how you are as a human cannot be defined only by education. It
for
plays
sure.
a role. It also depends on how you have been raised as a human, your surroundings. Despite that, how you have shaped your, I would say, your heart, your emotions, and because whatever you are as a person, that you transfer it to your child, or let's say people around you. Okay,
Mm,
so my mother has always been this calm, quiet lady into poetry, into writing, and always being this kind person. My father has been this patience person who has all. I mean, he was always showcased strong patience. Who's always being this person who has strong resilience. So that he transferred it to me. He spoke very less, so I think, but unlike his brothers, he's different. So I will not say that it's the surrounding only, because I
mm,
see his brothers, my father's brother, my uncles, they are different. I see my mother and I see my uncle as well. He They are different. So it has to do a it has a lot to do with you as a human being, how you are as a human, because that is all you transfer. And education plays a very, 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 very minimal role in this.
mm,
It's the surrounding, it's the upbringing, it's your nature, it's the amount of love you have inside you. That is all translates to that is all translates to parenting. And I don't know how will I even this question comes to me, like, how will I manage if I ever become a parent? How will I manage? I don't know. I also feel during their time, the number of options, they were quite straightforward. Like, okay, we get a job, we earn decent, we save some money, we get married, send our kids to school, make sure they're happy. Limited options, they were happy. Whereas in our case, we have tons of things to do, 10 different things. We want to do a PhD, we want to do a doctoral degree, we want to do this, we want to do a startup. I don't know. Like, we are so
mm,
s- overloaded with information that it becomes difficult for us to even make an informed choice. So I don't know how this is, but yeah, education does play a very minor role in you as a parent. I think it is a lot to do with you as a human being.
mm. I'm very curious about that because I've always wanted to become a father, and a young one at that. And I often wonder if I am ready yet, or how do I become better at it? And I don't know how I do that. I don't know if I'd ever be ready.
I
Do you?
wish I had answers. I wish I had answers. I also same questions if I'm ready. I mean, I never feel I'm ready, but I think you'll never be ready. It will always be something you feel like you're not good at. I mean, that's again how we always want more. We always want to be better. I think we should just go with it. Like,
Mm.
things will fall in place. Here we are talking about parenthood. I don't know. I have zero idea about this.
Do you want to be a parent?
I'm not sure, Vikesh. I'm really not sure. I'm not sure.
Do you
It's
want to get
difficult
married?
for me. Oh, I am actually. Surprisingly, it's been 5 years for my marriage, and
Oh, I had no
s-
idea.
yeah, and sadly, we have only stayed together 1 year during our marriage.
Oh no.
Yeah,
What's
it's
it
been
like?
long distance. Most of the time, it's been long distance. It's difficult. It's very difficult. Yeah, this June will be like 5 years of my marriage, but it's
Wow.
difficult. We are trying our best to stay together. We're trying our best to stay in the same city, in the same country at least. So yeah, here we are. But we don't know about parenthood. Both of us are still exploring. Like, if you want, if you don't want.
Mm.
So
Tell me a little about them, your partner.
so I my partner. I mean, she is my best friend, I would say. So friendship transfers into love. Our love story is, I don't know. It's so we were both born on the same date, 10th of May. We share the
Oh,
same birthday, and I think she played a very major role in my uh, life after this. So I mean, we have always been. I mean, we were friends since 26. We are friends since 2016. We used to be like, we are good friends, but then after a point we decided, okay, we should think about each other as partners. How do we do that? So she was the one who went to Oxford a year ahead me,
okay.
uh, defying everything. I mean, people. I mean, she also comes from this very challenging background where women do not go out for education or job and everything, but then she did. Then she went to Oxford. Looking at her, I also got motivated. She inspired me. She motivated me. I never believed that I can get into Oxford. Then she guided me again. She has been this, when I say it, it may be cliche, but she has been this guiding light for me always.
Mm.
For every big or small challenge, she has been there. So she ended up, and then it was during my study at Oxford only we stayed together in UK for 1 year, and then I had to come back because of my evening role. So she was working in UK as a civil servant. Her name is Saharin Shamim. So and now she's in India for some time, but let's see what next. We are trying our best to stay together.
Mm. Wow. I think that's another one of my uh concerns with marriage or relationships. Like my love language is generally very proximity oriented. So
Mm,
I feel very weird when people that I love, not just my partner, but friends,
mm.
anyone is away from me. I I feel like for me, marriage has always been the turning point where you just come together and then stay together forever.
Oh no.
But yeah, the challenges that come with it in terms of distance and time and space are all things I don't know how people do it, but
I
it also gives me inspiration then.
Yeah, I used to be the same person before I started taking things seriously with Sarin. That I used to also always believe that no, if you have to be in the same city, it affects a lot to your relationship. But after this, I realized that, see, we all, love is one component of your life. Like, your companionship is one component of your large universe.
Mm,
You have other things also which makes you as a human being. So your career choices, your education choices, all of this will be coming, and then you'll have to maneuver through it. So the decision of my partner going to UK and studying, then me going back, me following her, and then maybe I coming back to India. So I feel it has a lot to do with the whole understanding that love or companionship will be one component, and then you have to always keep pursuing other things as well, and that will be staying there constantly. But after a point of time, that is now for me, like 5 saal to ho gaye, now
mm,
we want to stay together in this one city, and we at least have a base together. So
right.
initial years may it will be fine, but I have seen people who still live in long distance. I don't know how do they manage it, but
Mm,
there comes a time you want to just stop doing it, you want to just get back together.
yeah, very interesting. I had no idea you were married in 5 years, and I think we
Yeah,
must be
yeah.
the same age.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I will turn 30 in next 2 months.
okay, I'm 27. I turned 28. So 2 years or so. So I
Yeah,
would say I
yeah.
have another. I'm just 2 years late.
No, so again, another way how society build construct. So I have always thought that there's a certain age of for getting married. So, but you never know, right? The whole idea of marriage should be at this particular age is also, I think, it's it's when you feel you want to get married, just get married. It's not like you should be married by 28 or 29 or 30. I have seen people who are living their life beautifully, but they are 40, 42, and they're yet not married. It's fine,
Mhm.
it's their choice eventually. So this idea of society setting construct, and then they're saying that if you are getting education, do it by 25, get married by 28, get your kids by 31. I don't think that's how we should be doing it. But yeah, you're never too late. Whenever you
Yeah.
want to do it, just do it.
Hmm. Once I find someone, I will think about it.
Yeah, inshallah.
Uh, from engineering to
Yeah.
this Oxford, what would you say were the differences in terms of the institutions that you went to? Of course, your experience would have been different, but how did the institution define that experience?
So Dehradun was I did my engineering from DIT, Dehradun Institute of Technology, a private institute. Obviously, lots and lots of rules and regulations, and there's certain way of behaving in classrooms and out in campus and everything. And uh, obviously, a person coming from a small town like Ambikapur, coming to a beautiful town like Dehradun, everything was shaping my perspective towards life. I was fascinated by McDonald's. I was amazed by how KFC, thing like KFC can exist.
Hmm.
So these are all additional things which comes to you in your engineering life, right? But then the, this one thing that happened which shaped the entire course of my life, I would say, my friend Shardul. I mean, we're still friends. He introduced me to an initiative. He said it's a volunteering initiative. On weekends we go and spread awareness on environment conservation. We spread awareness against open garbage disposal, and we clean, we do cleanup drives. So why don't you join us? And I was like, huh, okay, let's do it. Like, it's weekend stuff. Why don't I mean, I have nothing else to do. So I started joining these cleanup drives. And so this was an informal group named Making a Difference by Being the Difference, not the mad one, that's Make a Difference. This
Hmm.
was an informal group, not registered, and they used to do this stuff. And I was like, this is exciting. I would come again and again, like doing something good. And then my engagement started happening more with them. Every weekend I used to go spend time with these folks. So much so that I started thinking how this organization can expand, how this initiative can expand. So the founder was also he was pursuing his law from NLU Jodhpur. I became friends with him as well, and we thought that how we can work more on this. And that's when my inclination towards social work or development sector or this started happening. Like, okay, activism. We used to file RTIs on, let's say, for to know how many dustbins were installed in this particular let's say colony, and using that RTI response, we used to just demand it from the local parsha that this is what is supposed to be, why aren't you doing it? So using RTI as a medium. So along with me gaining information on technology and everything from my engineering degree, here this was this informal institution which was shaping my idea of activism, social work, social change and everything. And that's when I realized that my strength lies more on working on these issues, working with people. So I should do something. I This thought came, but I still wasn't sure that what next. So we got the organization registered in 2015. I was one of the founding members when it got registered. I initially joined as a volunteer, then I became the co-coordinator, then I became one of the founding members. Then obviously I left Dehradun and things had changed, and now I'm just one of the advisory board members. So I think that institution, the folks there, Shardul, Abhijay, they played a very major role in helping me find myself, realizing that my true potential lies not with laptop and not with softwares and machine language or programming language, but with the people and working with them, working for them. But still, I wasn't sure what next. I ended up taking a job with Wipro. I worked with Wipro for almost 1.5 to close to 2 years. Then I quit my job, and that's a different story. But yeah, that's how. But again, Dehradun was an eye opener for me. First time coming out from Ambikapur, it was definitely an eye opener. That's where I realized I would say, the whole essence of male friendships as well. I never count my school level friendship because I don't know at school level none of the folks I have studied with I am in good relations with. I still believe that the whole male friendship thing started happening when I was in Dehradun. There it was a very different, I don't know, toxic friendships we had in schools. I don't want to even revisit that.
Mm.
I do talk to them, but I don't think I have friends from school. Sad, but yeah, very few, but sad story. But then Dehradun as a place, college as a place, it helped me find good friendships. I'm still friends with them. But yeah.
And then, so how was this different from DIT?
Oh, this was very different. This felt like an open space for you. Like you, I felt like this is how a college life. I was surprised to see that you can actually just raise your voice. You can actually just stay late out of campus, do things how you want to do, share your opinions very easily in the classroom. If you do not agree with, you can have debate, dialogue around it. This was a very different institute as compared to DIT. DIT being a private institute, they had rules and norms for everything. uh you won't believe there were students who were getting punished like openly, like 20-20-year-old kids getting slapped by the dean. And I still believe it's happening there. I still believe it's happening there. And we normalized it, like, oh, it's normal, like they are teachers, they are entitled to give us punishments, and it's fine. But even at the university level this was happening. Whereas at this, you cannot imagine someone raising your voice at you. And that's how civilization, that's how society should be, right? You talk in a civil manner, you convey your message. If you do not agree, there's a particular method for it, there's a particular way to it. If something you feel is not right, you take action as well at the institute level, but you do not start beating them up. That happened at Dehradun. TIS was completely different. I felt TIS helped me a lot. I always say that my Oxford experience is not as good as my TIS experience.
Mm.
So I mean, it was an eye opener. It helped me. I don't know. It brought me close to the ground realities. It helped me get away with all my privileges, to at least acknowledge my privileges, and then find my own path.
Mm. Sounds very interesting. I wonder what my life would have been like had I gone to TIS. Because TIS has just been, I think I had been flirting with TIS for a while. In 2018, I wanted to go for the CODP program, which was the community
Oh
occupation.
wow!
And and that was also when, so I remember I was traveling in the Northeast, and the same day I got the result for the TIS exam. I've been
Hmm.
selected for the interview. And I also got a call from one of the managers at WWF who asked me to uh, interview for this job. And I
Okay.
hadn't applied for the job, so that was like almost certain that I would get it. And then I was just so confused. Should I study? Should I get the job? This sounds, and it was a senior role, so I thought maybe this would be a jump board for me. So I was very confused. And then,
Hmm.
so during the trip, I thought I'd give myself this time. I'll think about it. And then I did decide to go to WWF. However, I
Hmm.
thought कि मैं इंटरव्यू देने तो फिर भी चले जाता हूँ क्योंकि मैंने सोचा
Hmm.
था कि करूँगा. And then I told myself that I will not go, but I just want to experience what the interview is like.
Hmm.
However, I really wanted to get in and then be able to choose. पर मैंने अपने दिमाग में खुद को बोला कि नहीं, मतलब मुझे करना तो है नहीं anyway ये वो. And honestly, I didn't prepare as much. But in the interview, I was so nervous. Or the interviewers looked so intimidating. उन्होंने मुझसे पूछा WWF में क्या काम करते हो ये वो. मुझे 1 महीना कुछ हुआ था. और मैंने बोला कि हम लोग डॉल्फिन के नोज काट के ट्रेड करते हैं. तो हम मतलब ऐसे टाइप के प्रोजेक्ट्स में करते हैं. एंड आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट शार्क फिन्स. बट
Okay.
की जगह मैंने डॉल्फिन की नोज बोला.
डॉल्फिन बोल दी.
वो मुझसे पूछ रहे थे कि अच्छा ऐसा भी होता है, कैसे होता है ये वो. और मैं बोले जा रहा हूँ, कुछ भी बोले जा रहा हूँ बिना सोचे. और
Do you
तब तक
remember who was there in the interview panel?
नो सॉरी, आई नॉट एट ऑल.
Okay. Okay.
but yeah, that was my first this interview. एंड दैट वाज टेरिबल. फिर मैंने सोचा छोड़ो भाई, अभी मैं काम ही करता हूँ. फिर बिफोर कमिंग टू यूसीएल, a year before, I gave the test exam again for development studies.
Huh.
मैंने सोचा कि मुझे डेवलपमेंट स्टडीज करना है. एंड द अदर दैट आई गेव वाज MSW in mental health at this. And I
Hmm.
got through both of them in the for the exam and then to the
Hmm.
interview round. And
Hmm.
I felt very prepared कि अभी तो I've worked with the UNDP, I know everything about development, I can easily get through.
Hmm.
The day of the interview, again I got very nervous. और मैं ऐसे कुछ ना when I fail ना तो मैं I've had a habit of to heal from that pain. मैं ऐसे बहाने
Hmm.
बनाता रहता हूँ. And this is something that I've just realized now while talking to you कि मैंने पूरा बहाना बनाया कि उस दिन तो मेरा बहुत खराब दिन था, मेरी लाइफ में ऐसा हो रहा था इसलिए I couldn't get through. But I think just it was a bad interview, and I think I was too confident. कि I've
Hmm.
got good names on my CV, I've got a great experience, तो मैं हो ही जाएगा. So developer studies interview I didn't get through. I did get through the MSW mental health program. पर फिर
Hmm.
मैंने सोचा कि mental health, because I've been in the mental health industry for very long, but I didn't
Hmm.
want it to be the only thing that I wanted to do. तो
Hmm.
फिर आई हैड टू टेक द डिफिकल्ट चॉइस ऑफ नॉट डूइंग दैट. फिर मुझे
Hmm.
ऐसे मेरा ईगो हर्ट हुआ कि मुझे डेवलपर स्टडीज में टेस्ट ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया, तो मैं दुनिया के बेस्ट में जाऊंगा. एंड दैट्स व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड अप्लाइंग एंड आई गॉट थ्रू द ससेक्स डेवलपर स्टडीज प्रोग्राम.
Hmm.
पर एंड मैंने डिपॉजिट वगैरह पे कर दिया था, बट यूसीएल का कोर्स वाज माय ड्रीम कोर्स दैट आई वांटेड टू डू.
Yeah,
So life changed. But yeah, this the other two interviews were online, but the first one that I gave was at the campus. And when I entered the campus, I recognized it as something that I haven't seen before.
I know. I know. It's a different vibe, man. I don't know. Like it's everything about that place. Everything like teaching staff, non-teaching staff. I mean, we even have so dogs and cats in the campus. They have names, and they are.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. That place is. I owe it to them. That's why I continue working on Bridge. Like, despite having full-time job, despite I do access, I don't leave Bridge because I feel I owe it a lot to this, and I just need to give it back somehow.
Hmm. Okay, while we're at it, why don't you tell me a little bit about? I know about Edu Access. I've been a mentor before,
I know.
uh, but we couldn't talk earlier while I was at Edu Access as well. But Bridge was something that I'd seen on your profile before, but I still don't know what it does and how it's different.
Yeah, yeah, I'll tell you. So, as I mentioned, right? So, coming to TIS was an eye opener in a lot of sense, right? Like my privileges and everything. The fact that I thought I'll be able to afford. So, I am lucky that my parents said that okay, we'll afford the fees and everything. And the fees was not much when I entered TIS. For 2 years, you have to pay around 2 lakh rupees for a master's degree. But again, this the way I said it's not much is also very privileged statement, right? There are people who
Yeah.
cannot afford this education. Colleges like Jamia, DSSW, they don't have such high fees. Whereas TIS, being a having so the degree of TIS is actually expensive. But then again, I went with this idea that okay, it's not expensive because my privilege. So all of these notions started, I, I started unlearning them because I made friends who were really, I would say, really passionate about social work, social change. But then they come from these backgrounds where uh, the ability to pay such high fees was not there. Like their parents, they were either shepherds, they were either farmers who were suffering because of the drought season and everything. And that's when I started feeling that it's not just everyone who can pay this fees, right? And then there were protests going on because the scholarship which was meant to come in from the central government, it's not coming. So a lot of issues were going around when I entered this. One of my friend, he was also under the direct brunt of it. Like he was facing the direct brunt, and he started. Then I started talking to him about the whole issue of scholarships, like what's going on. Then gave me an overview of the entire scholarship issue and how there are students who can actually drop out because they don't have finances to support their education.
Mm.
And that was there. Still, I did not act upon it. I was like, "ठीक है, I mean, this is sad and everything." But then I came to know this friend of mine. What he used to do is, so in test you have Monday, Tuesday, you have field work, so you have to go to different locations. So let somebody gets in somewhere closer to your campus, so you just take a bus or auto and go there. This person had to go to a distant field location, and that cost him 25 rupees for train journey and everything, the local train. But then what he used to do, he started skipping his meal, his lunch. And that lunch would cost how much? 40 rupees. So he used to save that 40 rupees, and then then when I asked like why he doing this, and the reason was that he used to save money so that he does not cut from the monthly expenditure he has, because again the whole financial burden goes to his father. And that's when it actually strike that for us it's just 40 rupees, but for someone it's like a lot. And that was this trigger when I felt like, okay, we need to do something. And that's when the whole idea of bridge came into picture, that why don't we look at an initiative where we crowdfund from this huge network of test alumni, and then support college or support student directly so that they do not drop out. Very naive idea initially, and we were not sure how it will shape. So it took me almost 6 7 months to do research, talk to college, look at institutions and everything. And after months and months of discussions, participation with in different meetings, we finally came to a model where we said, okay, we will run a student-led initiative in TES, which will raise funds from alumni and other sources. We will get the money, we'll make the entire process transparent, let college do the disbursement. So TIS has a own mechanism called a student aid mechanism, which is unique to TIS. What they do is whatever funds they get it from, let's say donors and CSRs and alumni, they bring it to their corpus and they give it to students who are not getting any scholarship. Let's say someone gets a scholarship, sorted for them, but someone who is not a recipient of a scholarship and they want to get support, TIS gives the amount to them. However, with time, number of courses have increased, number of students have increased, so the demand on that corpus has increased. So they are unable to cater to a larger audience. So what
Mm.
we said that we will raise money, we'll get you the funds. You have your own process. They have a panel with in which the alumni, sorry, faculty is there, Office of Student Affairs is there, student union is there, and from that panel they interview and they give the money to the student. We said we will not be part of the disbursement process. We'll just get you the money. You do it. You let us know the numbers. Who's getting how much? Not the name, the number. So that's how the model was designed. And so, in a nutshell, uh, Bridge was the student-led initiative. I said was because I'll come to it now. Bridge was a student-led initiative which used to raise funds from different sources and support the college or the student aid mechanism, and that's how we support kids. In last 3 years, so in 2020 we did our first pilot. In last 3 years, 4 years now, we have supported close to 65 students, and 65 students have been supported from this, and we have helped them graduate debt free from tests. So this is what we have been doing. This year we got it last year we got it registered as a section 8 company, because a lot of constraints are also coming. So I was unable to set our own website because it was under test. We did not have the UPI because it was under test. So a lot of challenges came. Despite
Right.
the challenges, we were able to support 50 kids. But this year we got like 15 more, so 65 in total. Now it has shaped in a way that after my return from Oxford, um, one of the alumni who does not want to be named because he wants to stay anonymous, he said that he wants to help build bridge now in a way that we can scale it, and we can support more students. So he gave me an idea that why don't you build it in a way that you allow alumni or group of alumni or individuals to set up scholarships. Okay, so you become that mediator, you have a good connection with the institute, you get money, you build scholarships, you can allow alumni to set their own criteria unless it's arbitrary, unless it's very regressive. So you take a check on that there are, let's say someone wants to support a girl child from Maharashtra who is pursuing mental health. Simple. So we ensure that we set up the scholarship for them in the institute. You get the money and you provide the financial aid for the child. At
Right.
the same time, also look at their overall support system. Like you build connections for them, you look internship opportunities for them. So we have come up with this scholarship scheme where anyone can come and they can start a scholarship for any student they feel they want to support. We will help set it up for them. We will manage it completely end to end. So right from identifying to shortlisting to disbursement, post scholarship, everything will set it up. So in last 9 months, we have raised. So we have around 9 scholarships being set up at TIS. Out of 9 scholarships, we have results for 8 already there. Ninth will come soon. So we'll have the first cohort of bridge scholars coming up maybe next month.
Oh, wow, that's great. Is the website up now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can just write. I'll just quickly show it to you once again.
Wonderful. I will look at the website. It sounds very exciting. And if there's anything that I can do to help, let me know.
Just spread the word. I'm also doing this part time along with. So every year we select students who run this from campus, and we want to expand it beyond this now, not just. Yeah, I've just sent you the website's link.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's, I mean, Bridge. I feel it has a lot of potential because there's money out there, and there's no such initiative. Just letting you
Mm,
know that y- it allows people to come set up a scholarship, and we can be their mediator, and we just support a student
right.
along with their overall support development.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Uh, and congratulations on it. It's great
Thank
work.
you.
It sounds like an excellent idea as well. I'm sure it'll go way more than this, and hopefully all across the world in its own
Yeah,
time.
inshallah.
Yeah. I'm also mindful of time, so I'll just do some
Yeah,
quick questions now,
yeah.
just to get to know you a little better. Is there a habit that you've struggled with for a long time that you've been wanting to change?
Ah, now I mean, I was addicted to sugar. I've tried to change it. It's been 10 days of straight. It's been 10 days now. I haven't had sugar. But apart from that,
This is a lot.
10 days a lot, like 10 days only. It's been 10 straight days. I haven't had sugar. Apart from that, I think I need to be a bit more patient. Patience is not my suit. I would say it's not my forte.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm still trying a lot on it. I'm still trying to learn from my father. Still trying to learn from my partner, my mother. But yeah, patience is. I need to be more patient.
Hmm. And what would you say is your biggest fear?
Um, Because fear is if I live in this world without contributing enough to it. What is enough? I don't know. But biggest fear is just dying as an unknown or someone who hasn't done enough, contributed enough, or changed lives.
And if you die today, would you think you haven't done enough?
No. A few days back I got a text which actually made me believe that okay, I've done something. I even if it's just one person, it's fine.
Yeah, that's a good feeling to have, to know that
Yeah.
even in your limited capacity, you've been doing what you think is your mission in life.
Yeah.
Are you reading something right now?
Oh yes. There's a book, Walker. I don't know if
I haven't read it. No.
I'll quickly show it to you one second. Uh, it's not getting here. I don't
I
know.
can look it up if you just tell me the name of the author or whoever or what it's about.
Author, I forgot. It's a long name, but it's a so someone gifted me this friend in Oxford, and I had this habit of walking in, in new places. I just keep walking and exploring places. So
Mm,
she said that okay, you should read about it. So the book is about again while you walk, you go across cities and you go across emotions and how people just you know it's more about how you navigate through different emotions in the city, and what walking is all about. And as you walk, you not just find different parts in the cities, but you also find yourself, like
mm,
where you are as a person, where do you belong. So I'll send the link as well. It's really nice. The second book is with Sense and Solidarity by John Dres. Must read, I would say.
okay.
He's a he's a Belgian professor, but now Belgium nationality, but now he's more Indian. I feel he teaches in Ranchi University, and he's an active advocate for right to food campaign. So he has covered he has different field stories from India where he talks about economics, right to food, and everything. So that's Sense and Solidarity is the second book I'm reading right now.
Wonderful. And I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, you should. It's a really nice book. It's a really nice book.
Mm. Is there a reason why you don't use a second name?
Oh yeah, I mean my full name is Sayyid Manzar Imam Hadi. Um, it's very tokenistic, but again, I do not. So Sayyid is the caste I come from, and the whole thing around caste. I don't how In Islam, caste does not exist. It doesn't exist. Nowhere in Quran it's written about caste. So Islam caste does not exist, but we have started bringing caste into everything. So I deliberately try to avoid that and just keep my name Manzer everywhere.
Mm. Uh, do you think you're at your physical ideal, or is there something more or
Yeah,
less?
yeah, always ideal, always ideal, always ideal. I mean, I've started getting gray hair now. My beard is also turning gray. I don't know, but I don't care. It's fine. People say that, oh, you should die and something. It's fine. Physically, I have started. Um, I mean, in Patna, I have no life apart from work, so I have started going to the gym as well. As long as I'm happy with me being able to sleep properly, not being anxious, I think I'm at my physical best and
Mm,
idea, whatever you call it, but it's always fine. And I think what I have also realized is there was a point where I was very worried about this whole adulting phase that, oh, my glow is going, oh, my, I'm losing my hair at a faster rate now. What to do? I think this whole acceptance that, there will be a time you will age, we will age. Youth is not forever, and it's
mm,
fine. It's completely fine.
mm. What's it like living in Patna? I'm from Bihar, uh,
Oh,
and
wow, which place?
Muzaffarpur.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have good news for you, by the way, Ambikesh.
No, I'm
I am
sure.
also from Bihar. So my entire paternal side is from Aurangabad in
Oh,
Bihar. So, but I have always lived in Ambikapur. I was born and brought up there because of my mother's job, and my father also started his NGO there. So we have stayed there only. I used
oh,
to come to Bihar during my summer vacations when we were kids. Never liked it because of the extreme heat, frequent electricity cuts. Now it's not that frequent. If you ask me honestly, I think this is a
this must be
sorry.
a bad day.
Yeah, hopefully. Hello.
SDFC.
And what is wrong with bank loan? Sorry. I hope. Yeah. Bihar. Living in Bihar is not easy, Ambikesh. It's not easy, especially after coming back from the UK. I don't want to sound like this UK returnee person, but
No, of course
after
not.
after COVID, I have realized what I like. I like quiet, calm places. I prefer spaces where I can just sit in a park and just do nothing. I don't
Mm,
find that in Patna, sadly. I don't find it's very crowded.
yeah,
It's chaotic, man. It's chaotic. It's not easy. The only good thing is I don't have to pay, a hefty rent just like Delhi NCR. So the rent is decent. Um, Office is nearby. It's 5 minute bike ride, but it's not easy. Not
yeah. Do you understand Bhojpuri, Maithili?
slightly, no, not Mathli. I don't think so. Bhojpuri decently, but not that great.
Mm. And is that a deterrent in understanding
No, no, no,
government
no, no,
work?
no, no, not at all, not at all. I mean, in my Hindi is good. I believe so. My Hindi has been good. So all the documents and everything which comes to me from the policy point of view, I'm able to understand. So, and I think with the government is more than language, it's about body language. I would say how
Mm,
you manage with them, which is difficult working with them. But they have been supportive to date. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, wonderful. I think this conversation can keep going on and on, but I am
Yeah.
mindful about time, so we'll try to end it here. But before we do, I do want to ask you for a recommendation of the next person who you would
Um,
recommend.
I Yeah, I spoke to two folks yet to get confirmation. I got this soft confirmation. One, obviously, I would want you to speak to Sahreen. Amazing person. I mean, I wanted to know if there'll be a conflict of interest. If not,
Oh no,
just
there's no
speak.
conflict of interest.
Then definitely, she'll be coming to Patna tomorrow. I'll speak to her in detail. I think her life story is much more inspiring. I don't think mine is inspiring anyway, but her story is really, really inspiring. She had to do a lot to what she has now to get
Mm,
what she has now. So I think Sehrin will be one person.
mm.
Sehrin will be definitely interesting. She has more nuanced understanding towards life than me, I feel.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, yes, Manzur, thank you so much for your time. I
No
know
worries.
it's
Thank you
difficult to
for.
take out an hour to just talk to someone.
No, no. Anyway, we have the edu access session coming up in 40 minutes, so I have to
Okay.
prepare for that anyway. But thank you for having me, and it's such a nice initiative, I must say. Like, I mean, the free flow is actually something I really liked it.
Yeah.
So all the best, and I really hope to see you soon in UK, Ambikesh. I'm
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
also now want to. idea that I should look for jobs in the UK.
मुझे तो मन कर रहा है इंडिया वापस आने का. Like I am on the opposite end of it.
Yeah,
Because
maybe for initial few years I will. But
Hmm.
let me know, when are you planning to come back?
I don't know. I have a sponsored job here now, though it's very
That's nice.
difficult to think of leaving it. But I want to come back to India. I think I have made up my mind.
Okay, okay. Where are you working, if I may ask?
I manage a well-being network here in Hounslow, in London.
Okay, okay,
It's with the NHS and the council.
okay,
Very interesting job, but I just miss India too much.
okay. Fine, fine. I won't say a word then. Then you should come back.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, very nice talking to you. Let's stay in touch.
Likewise.
I'd love to
Yeah,
know what
sure, Ambikesh.
happens with Bridge and the other things.
Definitely. Thank you,
We'll talk.
Ambikesh, for your time.
Yeah. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.